I grew up in Romania, and in the house of my parents and grandparents, I grew up with art. They had mostly paintings. This is my atelier where I'm working at least 6 hours a day, and where I try to my sculptures and my light boxes and my towers and my metal sculptures. It is very crowded. I almost don't have room enough, but I still can take breath a little bit. I used to work as an interior designer. I used very bright, strong colors. So if friends went to one of the hotels and they didn't know that it is made by me, they always rang me if I did it because they recognized my handwriting. When I finished my work as an interior designer, I was in an exhibition of Matisse, his late cutouts. That inspired me to make my own art. And I had such a strong wish to do that immediately when I returned to Europe, I started. These were my first works, actually, cutouts. This was my first cutout after the exhibition of Matisse. Maybe I was influenced by not one, by a lot of artists. My favorite sculptures are Giacometti and Brancusi, and I was inspired from Brancusi when I started to do this head. It is a round piece of wood where I hammered a lot of nails. It is a hard work because to put thousands of nails in such a hard wood, it's not an easy work. It takes months and months, and this is an end product of my work, actually. If I'm dreaming about the sculptures, I see the finished sculpture. I always have been attracted at strong colors and simple forms. The main thing I did, and I worked a lot to do it, there were 40 pieces of paintings, but they are these turn-round papers in 40 different colors, and none is the same. And it will be put on one wall, and I think it will be very impressive if I see it at once, because even I couldn't see it at once, because where can I put 40 pictures on one wall, 30 to 30 centimeters, and it is still a huge wall. And I think this will be a dominating part of my work. I wanted to see how the colors will be if I do it, if it is a kind of movement in the wood, you know. Yeah, I was working with architects, and I had to do with architecture, and my family has to do a lot with architects, so maybe I was somehow influenced, yes. This is a drawbridge. I was inspired by an old castle where the bridge is opening above the water. I wanted to do a very modern version of it, again in my favorite colors, red and blue. This time not in red and black, because the water is blue, should be blue. New York reflects on my creative work. I started to do a series of towers different heights, different colors, and every tower is actually differently made. I like these simple forms of architecture. I started to do light boxes in different forms and different colors. And one of my favorite light boxes is a squared, high skyscraper type of light box, which remembers me also on New York by night. Now I have at least 3 light boxes exhibited in Prague now. Yeah. Actually, I try with one piece, and while I am working, I immediately have another idea on similar way, and then again, and it goes till I have idea. And then one day I stop because it is out of ideas. And then I stop with this, and I already have, mostly I have a new idea to do, and then I put it away and I'm working on something new. Vienna and southern France, that means Cannes, where I am always. This is my home, actually. My home base, I would say, and I love it. I don't have to travel elsewhere anymore, actually. I do sometimes, but I prefer to stay in these places. I feel well and I can work. I have all my things I need for my work. This tower is made of aluminum. It is painted in black and red, which are my favorite colors. It is exhibited in Berlin, but in a smaller version. This aluminum sculpture reminds me on waves, which get smaller and smaller. I knew immediately where I will place this sculpture. It has to be outside because it is huge for an apartment. I actually did it for my garden. If we are sitting, we have the possibility to see it. It is not hidden, it is on a prominent place. But I prefer black and red, yellow and blue. These are my most favorite colors. I use a lot of time in my atelier with working, and my husband supports me a lot. This is my first exhibition in Prague, and I am glad you came to see it, and I hope you enjoy it.